Hey guys, thank you for joining us for the round 4 review, and what a round 4 was, Andy. Andy? Oh, yep, that's right, probably should have told you guys. This is a special little episode. Andy is not available for recording this week. He has personal and school commitments throughout the whole week, and he is unavailable. So this will be a special little episode, just me and you guys, and I'll be taking you through the round 4 for me and Andy, and how it suited us and how it didn't suit us. So let's get stuck into it. First off with my team, as I at least scored between me and Andy. What do I say? I can't say much. This was a horrible week for me. First off with injuries, Johannesson, 70 halfway through the third quarter and does his hammy. That's just horrible. And then earlier in the day, Stephen Martin, just before halftime, gets knocked out by Stephen May, by a dumb Stephen May, on 56. So they were both in for 100 plus, and that was just horrible. Then to the 30s from my stupid Gold Coast players, Clay Cameron and Ryan Davis. I can't believe they scored 30 against Brisbane. Come on, you should be scoring better against Brisbane. And to make facts worse, I benched Mills for Davis. And just take a look at what I said last week about Mills. I don't think you can trade out Mills, to be honest, Andy.
See, give me your argument. You've been saying that all day. I don't understand why not.
Well, you picked him for a reason, didn't you? He was
Because in the NAB
decent
challenge, he was scoring 70s. Now he's scoring 30s.
He's a decent priced rookie. He had one bad game. Look at Hewitt. He scored 23. You're not looking to trade him out, are you?
He's worthless anyway.
I think you got to back in Mills. I backed in Oliver last week, even though I was thinking of trading him out. And look what he scored, 89. I think Mills could be in for a decent score this week. And as we can see here, he scored 92, and he's just sitting on my bench. There's 61 extra points there, but it wasn't to be. Anyway, with my defenders, top score of 79 from D. When D top scores for my defense, you're having a bad week. I expected Hooley to have a bad game eventually after a 119 and a 140, but he was lucky to get 68. He was on track for 50. That's just pathetic. Brought in Ruggles this week. I almost went Tomley instead, and now I'm wishing I did. 35 extra points could have got there. Benched McDonald Tipungwuti for him as well, so still lost points. With my midfield, decided to captain Danger against Essendon. 86 wasn't good enough for me, but if I hadn't gone him, I would have gone Ablett, and he only got 83, so that was alright. Bartow again, disappointing. Parrish and Oliver did alright, so decent scores. I'm hoping that Parrish can get a 70 or 80 this week. Big Maxi Gawn in the ruck had another great week. He's starting to hit form, which is very nice. I'm disappointed Mason Cox didn't play this week though, but hopefully we should see him come back this week with Collingwood's horrible form. To my forwards, Lee Montagna had another good week, went up in price again. Aaron Hall, just the same old from him. He's just loving it. Michael Barlow was very disappointing again, but we just have to ride with it at the moment. Hopefully he can score well against Carlton this week. Daniel Wells, he's amazing. 101 was a bit lower than what I expected from his halftime score. 76 at halftime he had, which is the same as Kerridge's score, which is coincidence. Only end up with 101, but still you'd take that from him. And I decided to play manager on my field instead of Corey Ellis this week, but that's alright. That was just a hit and a miss. I also brought in Liam Sumner, who got 46. I'd take that. I wasn't expecting big scores from him. And then obviously Lincoln McCarthy sitting on my pine. He should be brought back this week. I heard in the Traders podcast that he was completely rested throughout the week. He didn't even play in the twos. So we should see him come back this week. Now up to my amazingly suckish score, 1726. And I only managed to go down 5,600 ranks. So I'm still ranked inside the top 35,000, which isn't great, but I'd take that with two scores of 1,700. My team value is looking pretty nice at the moment, though. Clipped over the top of the 11 mil mark, sorry. this round, so that was very good. Now to Andy's team. His team did a little bit better than mine. First off, with a surprising move he made last week, he benched Nathan Wilson for Ruggles, which kind of surprised me, but in the end it worked out for him. Obviously, Tom Lee on his bench did awesome for him. Gilbert, I was very surprised again. He's like my team, Gilbert. He's a bit inconsistent, but yeah, like me, he didn't have a great week with the defense. Into the midfield, he brought in Hunter last week, and he paid dividends. He got 115, which is very nice. Zaharakis, who he brought in the week before, got 112, and then obviously Adams, Dangerfield, and Ablett, who I have as well, probably underperformed to what we'd hoped for. Crouch and Mills did decent. He backed my theory in with Mills, and obviously he played Davis on his field, who was also disappointed in. Surprised that he kept Hewitt in, to be honest, but I think he might be looking to trade him out this week if he doesn't play. Same rucks as me with Steph and Gawn. I think he would have been very happy with Gawn, and very disappointed with Steph and Martin. To his forwards, he captained Hall again, so again, for the fourth week in a row, he beats me in the captain side of things. Surprisingly, Andy's only had 2 captains for this whole time. He's had Ablett for the first 2 weeks and Hall for the second 2 weeks. So it'd be interesting to see who he goes with this week. Barlow and Sam Gray, I reckon he'd be very disappointed with those two. Wells and Kerridge, again, same with me, did very well. And DeGoey, I'm sure he'd take that. And then Mitch McGovern on his bench, who's doing very nice, still making quite a bit of money. Now up to his score, a little bit better than mine, 1849, and he went up 1,600 ranks to be ranked inside the top 10,000, which I'm sure he's very happy with, and I'm sure he will look to get into the top 5,000 this week. Off to some trades. Andy's looking at going Lonergan to D this week, and Crouch to Hanbury at this stage. I like those trades. I'm surprised that he didn't have D in the first place. D's been very consistent, averaging 75. He's been one of my best defenders to this stage, so that looks to be a good downgrade. And then Hannah's, obviously, he's a fallen premium at this stage. He's going down. He's looking to rise up in price now. His break even's still around the 120 mark, so he might not go up too much this week, but still looking to get those fallen premiums in, which won't cost him too much money. Now off to my trades. Obviously I have to trade out Johannesson because he's out for 10 weeks, so I'll be going him to Biggs or Fantasia. I like the look of Fantasia, 200s in a row, and he's got Collingwood and Carlton in the next 2 weeks, so he will be racking up the points and the money. He'll go up in price very steeply. And obviously Biggs, I reckon he should be able to get lots of Johannesson's points now that he's out. And then if Steph Martin's not playing, then obviously I'll go him to Nick Nat. But if he is playing, then I'll go Bartol up to Fife. Obviously Fife being another fallen premium who's just starting to go up in price. The only reason I'm going him over Hannah's is because I can save some money, as Fife is going up more than Hannah's will be in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks upgrade Parrish to Hannah's or JPK. Now that we've got the teams out the way, I just want to look at one little stat from a ultra consistent defender here called Matthew Boyd. Some of you may have already realised, but some of you may not have. All 4 of his scores so far have been 92. Now that is just amazing. I don't think we've seen something like that before. And 92 every single week. Now, I know we would have expected a bit more from him because he's Matthew Boyd. We would have been hoping for a close to 100 average, if not 100 average. But still, that consistency, if you started with him, you'd be pretty pleased with that. I mean, no hundreds, but no scores below 80 like most defenders have gone through so far. Even the likes of Heath Shaw and Rory Laird have got scores under 80, but not for Matthew Boyd, and I think you'd be wrapped with those sort of scores. Now, in the next week, DPPs will be starting to roll out, and I think that's very interesting, and I love this side of the game. To add a new position to a player is exciting, and obviously when we get to these stages of the year, we look to trade in some of these players. And the first couple, there's a couple that I'd like to talk about. Obviously, one being Brandon Ellis. Now, They've said that he's basically a lock to get defender status. His scores haven't been too great to start off with. He's had a couple of 70s and a 140. But if he can start getting a bit more consistent and getting a couple hundreds in there, then I think you just have to get him in, and you'd have to look at getting him in the next couple of weeks, because he could be very handy to have back there in your defence. Second one, Robbie Gray. People thought he would be getting forward status, but so far we've heard that he's unlikely to get forward status. He's been spending most of his time in the midfield, even though he's kicked quite a few goals in the first couple of weeks. He's not as likely as his other Port Adelaide teammates, Brad Ebert and Travis Boak. They're a little bit more likely than Robbie Gray to get forward status, but I think we will see them not getting it again. There are a couple rookies, obviously, that will be getting forward status. DPP, should I say. Ryan Davis is basically a lock to get forward status, which could be very handy for some swapping around with some of your players. Callum Mills has a very high chance of getting defender status, which obviously could be very handy. Swap him into your defence and then trade out one of your other defender rookies to someone better in your midfield. And I think George Hewitt was another one who could be getting forward status. And so that could be very, very handy if you don't have someone in your midfield to swap with someone like Menadue or Coriolis or even Wells or Kerridge, just to do just some swapping around to enhance your team. Now that's all we have time for today. Sorry about the boring video, but I'm not as much of a talker as Andy is. Thanks for tuning in though, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care.